Thanks for tuning in to this Stock Car Facts short. And on this episode, we feature our friend and spotter, Kyle Harvey, telling a hilarious Dick Trickle joke. And also, next Tuesday, tune back in as Kyle continues his spotter series.
So Dick used to tell this joke about this farmer that was out plowing his field, and one day while he was out plowing his field, he hit a stump or hit a rock and it threw him off the tractor, and the disc ran him over and cut his arm off. Well, he got up out of the dirt and ran after the tractor, shut it off, ran back, looked in the dirt, found his arm, and ran a half a mile to his house, and he sewed his own arm back on. Well, between that and some other things that happened at the farm, he was a little down on his luck, and he noticed in the local paper that they were looking for a bouncer. So he thought, well, on the weekends I could do that. You know, I'm a pretty tough guy, I can go do that. So he goes to interview, and the interview stops him as soon as he comes in the door, and he says, hey, listen, I want to tell you thank you for coming in. We really appreciate you coming in and applying for this job, but we wanted a big guy, some guy that's got a lot of presence. He says, what are you, 5'6", 5'5"? And he goes, yeah. He said, but I'm pretty tough. And he goes, no, I can appreciate that, but you know, no sense in us wasting each other's time. You know, I really want a big guy, somebody that can really intimidate people. He goes, can I tell you how tough I am? He says, sure, I'll listen. And so he says, well, I'm out working in my farm and the tractor throws me and, you know, cuts my arm off. I go back, dirt, find it, and I go to my house and I sew it back on. And then the interviewer looks at him and says, well, man, I tell you, anybody that could do that's pretty tough. He says, you got the job. And he goes, okay. So the reason I'm telling that joke, which is funny in itself, but is because when all the years I spotted for Dick, whether he was in a convertible or in the back of a pickup truck or in the car running late, he would always try to look up to where I was, and he'd do that on the start of the race.